Okay, now we move on to part C. But before we do that, I'm just going to bring the picture back into view again to tell you what part C is. So for part C, you've got to find an equation for the circle C. So pause the video again and come back to if you want to check your working is correct. Otherwise, if you are having problems with equations of circles, then I've got a tutorial that you might like to look at again on finding the equation of a circle, and hopefully that will help you do this part of the question. Okay, welcome back then. If you had a go, let's see how you got on. Well, first of all, if you've got to find the equation of a circle, what we need to know is the center coordinates and the radius. Well, in fact, we already know the center coordinates because we found them. I'm just going to write them in here. We were told that the x-coordinate, or we had to show that the x-coordinate of Q was 5 when y was 1. So let's just mark that in, that Q has an x-coordinate of 5 and a y-coordinate of 1. So that's the center coordinates, 5, 1. Now we need to find the radius, and the radius is obviously the distance from the center here out to the circumference of the circle. Now we can find this distance QP, which will be the radius. So you should know how to find the distance between 2 points. If not, I would suggest that you look at our tutorial on just general coordinate geometry, and that should explain how to do it. But just as a reminder, when you're finding the distance, it's the difference between the x-coordinates squared plus the difference between the y-coordinates squared and the whole answer square rooted. So we'll tackle that now. So we'll scroll down and tackle the last part. So part C, we're trying to find the equation of the circle, but before we do that, remember, we're trying to find the radius. So the radius, okay, is the distance QP or PQ, and that, as I explained, is equal to the square root of the difference between the x-coordinates squared, so that's 2 minus 5 all squared, plus the difference between the y-coordinates all squared, so that's going to be 2 minus 1 all squared. And if we work that out, we have that that is the square root then of 2 take 5, which is minus 3. Square that is going to be 9, plus 2 take away 1. Square that, that's 1. Square that, that's going to be 1. Just like to point out, by the way, whilst we're here, is the difference in the x-coordinates. You'll get exactly the same if you did 5 take away 2 and squared it. Okay, so it doesn't matter which way round you do this, and the same applies to the y-coordinates. Okay, so we now have the square root then of 9 add 1, which is obviously the square root of 10. So that'd be the square root of 10. Okay, so that's the radius. So we're almost there now. So we're ready to get the equation of the circle because we have the coordinates, the center, and we have the radius. So rather than just doing it, let's just put a little intro here. The equation of C, because that was what we're trying to find, is, okay, and let's just give a little bit of room here. So it's going to be x minus the x-coordinate of the center of the circle, and the x-coordinate of Q is 5, x minus 5 all squared, plus y minus the center coordinate, the y-coordinate of Q, which is 1, and we square that, and it's equal to the radius squared, and the radius was root 10, and if we square root 10, that's going to be just simply 10. Okay, that's it really, because there's no need to expand this or do anything further. It just said find an equation for C, and that's it, completed. So if you did that, well done, and that will get you 4 marks. So that brings us to the end of question number 7.